You know, I need to do some kind of video. I could talk about another light novel. I've been reading a lot of them. Or I could talk about some manga. But what? What could I talk about when it comes to manga? I know. Let's talk about the greatest manga. The most fantastic of all manga. The best manga of all time. At least for me. And this will only be the best of the best. Of the absolute fantastic. The cream of the crop. The stuff that every single person should be reading. I don't know about you guys, but there's something about Monster Girls that is just so incredibly fun. There's something about taking this and turning it into this. Creating something that is not only marketable, but also waifu bait. Monster Musume has that in spades. Plot too. Blimey, looking at all that plot. Honestly, can we just imagine that someone was just sat there and was like, you know what? This spider needs big ol' anime titties. Honestly, I don't know what it is about Monster Musume. I mean, it got me into a whole new genre of anime and manga. Stuff I never even thought in my wildest dreams. What if a snake had tits? Yeah. Things you wouldn't even think of. Things you wouldn't even dream up. Someone did. And you know what? You can do a lot worse than this. Unlike a lot of other series, this actually focuses on a lot of stuff like body image. It even focuses on racism. All in a well-kept, charming little title. It's a harem series, yeah, they're a dime a dozen. It's an ecchi series, dear God, they're absolutely everywhere. But you know what? Monster Musume is actually one of the better titles in that genre. And believe you me, it's one that, I'm not going to lie, has stuck with me through the years. The next title is one that hits close to home for me. It was one of the first anime I even purchased. Not only that, it was one of the first manga I purchased. Just imagine a hip, young, cool dude looking like me, looking around in a shop, seeing Dragon Ball, Suikoden, Dot Hack, and then being all, oh my god, top shelf manga on a bottom shelf? I gotta get this. And you know what, back in them days, this was something that was completely unique. It was something different from the normal. It was kind of like, wow, this is beyond the reality of things. How could manga be like this? It's for kids. It's childish. Look how that person has his head exploding. It's for kids. Need to be reading mature titles like Harry Potter. But that's right, the comedy classic Love Hina is one that will always be in my heart. After Dot Hack and Suikoden 3 the manga, it was Love Hina that really kept me wanting to read more manga. The anime was a lot of fun, but the manga actually went beyond that, and it was the first instance I realised that. With new plots and things to do, it was a fun read. I remember when I was really younger, I took the entitled Love Hina on holiday with me. But I can't not give this series its dues. There's a lot of problematic stuff in it. But I wouldn't be doing this, I wouldn't be into manga nearly as much if I hadn't gotten into this all these years ago. It's got fun characters. And you know what? The romance, for what it is, it's pretty okay. I've seen a lot worse. A lot of the gags still come off quite well. And you know what? The girls, a lot of them are best girls. 100% authentic manga. Do not accept bootlegs. This is an absolute nostalgia trip from start to finish, and one that I will still go back and read every now and again. That's right, it is, for me, one of my favourite titles of all time. I know what you guys are thinking. We've had two trashy titles, but we need to talk about the #1 rated anime of all time. Full Metal Alchemist. We need that in manga form. And that's why we need to talk about the #1 rated title, Full Metal You're not Full Metal Alchemist. You are better. Honestly, I can't stress enough how much I love this series. It's something unique and we don't really see enough of this. While I enjoy Full Metal Alchemist, I never really felt I needed to reread it or rewatch it. I always felt like my time with it was complete. But with Silver Spoon, oh my god, I'm going to be rereading this. Perhaps because Silver Spoon is grounded more in reality, it managed to take me on a wild ride, lifting the curtain on certain things that other people crusade against, and show that everything has its purpose. Honestly, if you're a Westerner getting into Japanese food and the culture behind Japanese food, this is an absolute fantastic one to look at. It's got a lot of in-depth stuff in that you'll have a whole new appreciation on not only Japanese food, but the hard work that goes into it. Or you'll never eat meat again. You know what, guys? Years ago I had a dream. That's right, I had a dream that one day I would grow up to become a robot that would destroy all of Earth. That hasn't happened yet. But there is a lot of great titles out there about dreams.
But what if you wanted to be an astronaut? Then Space Brothers is your kind of jam.
Oh shit, yeah, I love Space Jam.
Space Brothers tells the story of Muta, a 30-something-year-old who has just quit his dull engineering job after years of employment, by headbutting his boss. A man doing what so many would love to do. Muta has a younger brother, Hibito, who is an astronaut. Following on their promise years ago to become astronauts, Muta finally begins his journey to reach space.
Honest to God, this is a title that is so underrated. Hardly anybody I know even talks about it. It goes so in depth in the whole process of what Muta has to go through. Even the other astronauts. If you like a title that goes really in depth with things, has everything step by step, while having a really good payoff and is incredibly tense while doing so, Space Brothers is a title that is absolutely for you, because it's sadly digital only, and the more people that get into it, the more chance we might get of a physical. Or we could just read it digitally only and still read it.
Hey kids, remember this?
If you liked remembering that, well, you'll enjoy this. It's really uncommon that titles are so relaxing as Laid Back Camp is. If you just want something that you can read, flick through at the end of the day, this one's going to have you covered as it explores the great outdoors.
And it's so incredibly nice about it all too. There's no rain, there's no snow, there's very little in terms of drama. It's just cute and relaxing, which sometimes is what you really want in a series. Honestly, I just love everything about this. Fun, simple characters, nice food, relaxing atmosphere, and beautiful artwork.
It's so relaxing, it's just kind of like, oh yes, appreciate all of this nice little beauty spots that we've got. Get yourself out, social distance. But it's just this whole cute girls doing cute things, and it's all just kind of like, yeah, wind yourself down, just sit down, relax, have a nice cup of tea, and read a nice little book about camping.
Honestly, I'm not sure how else a series like this would work. A camp and battle shonen would be something incredibly cool, but weird. Maybe it's the Britishness inside me, or memories of bad camping trips from years ago. But Laid Back Camp, it really speaks to me. Speaking of camping, there's also Golden Kamui.
Pow! Punching a bear. Rah!
Probably the only pure action seinen title on this list. Golden Kamui really spoke out to me.
Maybe it was the whole idea of tattooing prisoners with a map to lost gold, or maybe it was just the incredibly well done action and brutal honesty of the series. Golden Kamui was one that a few people recommended me before I even picked it up, and you know what, I was so glad I did. It really became one of my favourite titles of all time, and something that I'm really excited to read week on week.
Set after the Russo-Japanese War, it tells the story of ex-soldier Immortal Sugimoto as he etches out a living as a gold farmer. There he hears about a wondrous story about lost Ainu gold.
Golden Kamui is an action, an adventure, an ecchi, a romance, a cooking manga, an animal manga. That's right, you will learn facts about animals. You will learn historical facts about the Russo-Japanese War. You will also understand the fear of an ex-soldier as they struggle to make a living. You will discover the Ainu culture. There's something about this title that appeals to everybody, and it does everything incredibly well. It's not one of these titles where it just kind of just tries but fails on all accounts. No, this is one where it's tried all these different things and it's managing to do things really well. Of course, I never really thought I would get attached to a lot of convicts and ex-soldiers and sadistic people. Although,
If it was more ecchi.
of course Prison School was going to be on this. How could it not be? Pretty much one of the biggest key factors of me getting back into collecting manga. This title is just ridiculous. In a good way. 4 boys transfer into an all-girl school. Boys will be boys and they're caught peeping. Due to the old way of working, the girls lock the boys in a prison. And it ultimately becomes a prison break with so many life lessons learnt along the way.
The comedy, the action, and of course the ridiculous premise in the series just kept me coming back for more and more.
And this is a title that just kept me going. The pages just read themselves. It was so tense, it was so right at the right time. There was so many times I was laughing, absolutely laughing. I thought I was going to either throw up or wet myself. It's a ridiculous manga from start to finish, but one that is done incredibly well. The artwork, fantastic. And like I said, you're going to learn life lessons that breasts are just fake asses. There's not many other titles even like this. There's not many other titles I can even think of that even come close to this. Possibly Grand Blue Dreaming, but there's also Raw Hero by the same creator, which at the moment looks like it could potentially surpass this one. Hopefully it does. Was there any doubt in anyone's mind that Yotsuba and was not going to be on this list? I mean, let's face it, it's the title I talk about probably more than anything else. It's absolutely fantastic, bringing us the joys of the world through the eyes of the child. Brought to us by the same creator as Azumanga Daioh. This has become a firm favourite, and I'm absolutely proud to say this is number 3 in my favourite best manga of all time.
You know the feeling. Playing in the park, jumpers for goalposts, what's for tea, mother? Fish fingers? Sunday morning cartoons, the thrill of finally completing that level in Super Mario Bros. 4-player GoldenEye. Isn't it? Wasn't it? You know. Marvellous.
It brings us back to those simpler times when everything was just so big and the world was an exciting place to be. None of this coronavirus and depressing and jobs that you just can't stomach anymore. Yotsuba gives us that idyllic view of a life of a child. From shopping to day trips to the farm or potentially to the beach. Every day in Yotsuba's world is always the best day, and really hits home the enjoyment factor of enjoy everything. Guys, I completely understand. I know there's only 2 spots left, and you know what? It's time we talk about sports. That's right, sports. Because we haven't spoke about sports much on this channel, and if I don't sport much, how will we know that there are some great sports manga out there? Sports.
While I enjoyed Hajime no Ippo and Slam Dunk, it was iShield 21 that really got me wanting to read more sports manga. Brought to us by the writer behind Dr. Stone and the artist behind One Punch Man. iShield 21 focuses on a timid boy, Sene Kobayakawa. Always bullied, he's learned that the best way to avoid conflict is to run and be a gopher to bullies, and gaining incredible speed, the eyes that the demonic American football club quarterback has turned to him. This is the ultimate sports series for me. Each and every character is as bizarre and wacky as the rest. From the demonic quarterback to the linesman who just has a head like a chestnut. Not to mention the bullies themselves. iShield 21 constantly brings its A game.
Honestly, there's not many titles that even come close to iShield 21 when it comes to storytelling. It's a tournament arc, a thing that I absolutely hate. But you know what? It makes it work. Each of the characters, each of the teams are incredibly memorable. And we have so many of them. We have the linesman who looks like a chestnut. potentially the devil himself as a quarterback. We have bullies as the linesmen, short people, tall people, people who think that they are God reincarnated. Even the villains are all unique in their own special way. If you like Doctor Stone, if you like One Punch Man, I would absolutely 100% recommend checking this out. You too can be a hero.
Even to the point that it made me genuinely interested in American football. Something I later watched once and was all like,
this is boring. Now, before we go on to my all-time favourite manga of all time, that's right, so much all time, I had to say it twice, here are a few other titles that I love, but unfortunately they just didn't make the top 10.
Food Wars, Himoto Umaru-chan, Assassination Classroom, Doctor Stone, Nichijou, Azumanga Daioh, and no matter how much I look at it, it's you guys' fault I'm not popular.
This is my personal top 10 best series of all time. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? What do you guys love? What's your favourite top 10 series of all time? Or even just your favourite one of all time? One Piece is the little series that could to me. When I first started manga, I went through the usual suspects. Dragon Ball, Naruto, Yu-Gi-Oh! They were all fine, but they never really stuck with me. Later on I went on and tried Death Note and Bleach, and you know what? I got into them pretty much fine. One Piece is a title that stuck with me for years, however. Even when I stopped caring about anime and manga for a long time, I still kept up with One Piece.
Largely because of one reason.
Seriously, however, One Piece is the little title that I just completely feel rewarded with. Each and every week is just so exciting because I've been with this for a long time. And at the end of the day, you do grow an attachment to a lot of characters over this long time. It constantly rewards you for sticking with it, and there's not many other series that I feel really do that. Characters might not appear for 50 volumes and then they'll appear again and they'll be a main character. Or we'll have characters that'll disappear, and they'll get a rewarding backstory, or they'll get some kind of way of redemption. It's a really nice way of doing it, and you can tell that Oda absolutely loves his characters to bits because he just wants to use them as much as possible.
In a way, it's understandable. You don't follow something for half your lifetime and not grow any attachment to it.
It's so nice to have a title that not only hits all the nostalgia points, but is so up to date and current. I can look back fondly on earlier arcs such as Skypiea and Thriller Bark and still find new things with them. There's all these little details that you might not see straight away, which makes it so rereadable. A lot of people don't like the amount of length for it, but pretty much anybody who actually is caught up absolutely loves it. And quite frankly, there's going to be a huge hole, not only on my shelf, but in my heart when this thing actually finishes.
These characters, they're almost like family to me now. It's kind of weird in a way.
You know what? Whether or not you like the series or whether or not you dislike the series, there's no denying that One Piece is a huge cultural thing. A lot of titles wouldn't exist without One Piece, and that's not a reason to make it your favourite, but for me, it absolutely is. It's a title that I'm never going to find a better title for me, unless Ichiro Oda somehow pulls out another title that's somehow better than it. But because of nostalgia, because of how long it's been going on for, I mean, let's face it, it's been going on for longer than half my life. I've been into it for longer than half of my life. Think about that. A lot of people, when they get into anime and manga, they're kind of just like, oh yeah, I like this, and then they kind of, a few years later, it's like, oh, I like this too. But yeah, One Piece has been my favourite title for over half of my life. And I'm no spring chicken.
And if there was any doubt that this was the genuine article, remember, I own Creature Girls and Boruto.
And that's my top 10 favourite titles, best titles of all time. Sure, some of them might jump around a little bit, but the top 3 are probably going to stay where they are for a while. I've not read every single manga, but I've read enough to kind of make this own judgment for myself. But like I said before, let me know in the comments, what's your favourite top 10 titles of all time? And if you like this kind of way of me presenting a video, please let me know, because hey, this is a lot of work, and you know what? I love making these kinds of videos. They're a lot of fun. If you did like it, leave a like, consider subscribing, and around here there'll be some other videos. Go check them out and support the channel, and have an excellent day. Keep on trucking.
Bye.